How do? So, Birmingham Council, 2.9 billion in debt owed out. Closely followed by Leeds, 2.2 billion. I think it's Woking, 1.9 billion. The Strangeways riots, April 1st, 1990, all kicked off. Warnings were there. Treat people like animals, articles and the lot. It was going to happen somewhere. It just happened to be at Strangeways. Within a couple of days of that riot kicking off in the chapel, April 1st, you couldn't make that up, they'd taken most of the jail back, the staff. 2/3 of the jail, I believe. I spoke with people who were there at the time, and people who were there at the time, no, why do people do that? Talk about the riots. Somebody else tells me actually they were on detached duty other side of the country. They didn't see any of the action. Anyway, that's another thing. So yeah, it kicked off. 2/3 of the jail back in a couple of days. The lads again and lasses who were there said after the first 2 days, bit airy, bricks flying, slates off the roof, they just counted the cash. Overtime, tornado, riots, money. I met a doctor, junior doctor. He told me he were there. When the prisoners were coming down, they were all checked over. He was doing that little job. Boom. Ka-ching. Nice little earner for him as a junior doctor. 1990. And at the same time in London was a poll tax riot. Spoke to an individual who was a student then. Sam. It was disgraceful. British police were a lot tougher then. I don't think we had two-tier. I'm not sure. However, British public, again, out protesting against poll tax or council tax. Yeah, people were losing their homes. They couldn't afford to pay it. They were throwing people in jail. Yeah, council tax now, you're in a band. Anyone on my street, we all pay the same. The government's looking to change that. They're looking to go back to poll tax. So if you had an extension, you're going to pay more. And that's where it happens, doesn't it? We're already under the cost of the working man. Poll tax, food, energy bills going up, everything. It's the working man, the taxpayer, that is copping for everything. And people who live in rented properties, it's going to affect them as well. If you're on benefits, it gets paid, doesn't it? If you put in a hotel, we know bills to pay, then you're not paying that, are you? You know what I'm saying? Incidentally, 5,000 hotel spaces we are keeping, this government's keeping now. They've been made available for when people arrive, so we can put them in there temporary, 5,000 spaces. So I saw a guy being questioned about this. Obviously we need space, he says, when people come. We've got to put them somewhere, so why not in a luxury 3, 4 or 5-star hotel with nothing to pay? And then he was asked a question. So if you're trying to keep 5,000 spaces, you need to move them on quickly. Yeah, we need to move people on quickly and find accommodation. Where are you going to find that accommodation? Where you're moving them to? Boom. Tumbleweed. Silence. So again, the Strangeways riot went on unnecessarily long. All the media coverage. I remember it at the time. Riot, riot, riot. Nothing to do with the poll tax riots. They weren't poll tax riots. Yeah? People were kicking off and they got pushed over the edge. That was just one thing. I got threatened with prison for not paying poll tax. I didn't unwittingly or purposely not pay it. I didn't have the funds to pay for my house and pay for that. And now councils want to be able to charge what they want. Birmingham, 2.9 billion. Let's get it back off the taxpayer. People who are working in rented properties or their own homes. Yeah? House repossessions. Rent prices are through the roof. They don't care. They don't care about you. It's absolutely disgraceful. And like I said, I've looked at the new facts and figures. I'm not the best, you know, political wise and what things mean, but I'll tell you what it does mean. It means a lot of people who are already on the edge, skint, are going to be homeless. It's going to happen. And again, they don't care. They don't care if you lose your home. You won't be going into a hotel though. That's a cert. Quite definitely not. So, yet more being forced on us. And again, let's get back to prisons. Why they want to empty prisons. Why they need space in prisons. They know what's coming, this government. Very good at preempting stuff. Yeah. Let's completely screw the public over, people who work, people who pay taxes on taxes on taxes on pensions. Let's claw back 25% more for our councils from people who are single. You know, I know a widower, they live on their own, worked all their life, 40 odd plus years in the NHS. They struggle to pay the bills, they struggle to pay the energy bills, struggle to pay anything else, another 25%. And if it does change, you know, me at the moment, I'm not sure what band I'm in. I know roughly, I'm paying 150 quid a month council tax. That could double overnight. Absolutely. And here's the other thing. Most people now buying houses, having families, that they need two of you working. Yeah, you can't do it unless you're both working. If I get locked up, our lass will lose the house, will lose a house. There's no way she could afford it on her own. But again, they don't care, do they? And while we're on the subject of locking people up, yeah, all these people who've been locked up for Facebook posts and the like, and everything else that's going on, social media, Twitter, posting on X, do you think that's going to deter the working man when it really kicks off? There are millions of us who are absolutely sick to death of being fleeced. The only thing I've seen from politicians in the last 2 months is about taxes going up. Going back to the old poll tax. Eating allowance for pensioners. Again, I saw some Labour analysts, and I don't like the Conservatives or Labour analysts saying pensioners, boomers as he wanted to call them, on average spend 17.8%, I think he said, there or thereabouts, of their income on hotels and the like. I think he's talking about them going away. Again, the widower I'm on about, you know, that's the treat. A weekend away, maybe a couple of 3 times a year, and why not? You've worked all your life, you've put into the NHS all your life. Ironic that, isn't it? Irony at its finest. Declaring that pensioners, 17.8% of their income goes on hotels. I know people who 0% of their income, because they don't earn anything, doesn't go on hotels. Taxpayers' money does. Tax upon tax upon tax. We're sick of it, aren't we? Strangeways riot, poll tax riot. Prisoners on the roof could have taken the jail back. People getting battered, pensioners and young people in London, and plenty were locked up. Plenty were locked up. What a sad state of affairs. Right, guys, parting shot as always. Those that have been around a long time, loved Stephen. I miss him every day. We now got Brian. He's a wonderful pack. No, seriously, guys, God bless you all. Something's got to give, hasn't it? Something's absolutely got to give. God bless you all. Thanks for your continued support. Let's all stick together. Peaceful protest has got to be the answer. Just going to leave it there. Thanks for coming, Al City.
In the shadows they reside, secrets etched in stone, echoes of forgotten cries. Behind these walls alone, behind the walls where darkness thrives, whispers linger, secrets hide, invisible chains